Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Book Notification Podcast, your go to source for this week's new book releases. Today, we're looking at the week from September 1st to the 7th, which includes new releases from Tom Clancy, James Patterson, and J.D. Robb. There are over 450 new books this week, so there is no way we could cover them all. Visit booknotification.com to explore the full list of this week's new books. You can also follow your favorite authors, so you'll be the first to know when their next book is available. As always, we have 10 books to highlight, with a little something for everybody. Let's get into it. The First Witch of Boston by Andrea Catalano is a gripping and intimate novel based on the true story of Margaret Jones, the first woman to be found guilty of witchcraft in 17th century Massachusetts. Massachusetts Bay Colony, 1646. Thomas and Margaret Jones arrived from England to build a life in the New World. Though of differing temperaments, cautious Thomas and fiery Margaret, a healer, are bound by a love that has lasted decades. With a child on the way, their new beginning promises only blessings. But in the austere Puritan community, comely faces hide malicious intent. Wrong moves or words are met with suspicion, and Margaret's bold and unguarded nature draws scorn. Soon, Margaret is mistrusted as more cunning woman than kind caregiver. And when personal tragedies, religious hysteria, and wariness of the unknown turn most against her, even the devotion Margaret and her husband share is at risk. Inspired by actual diary entries and court records, The First Witch of Boston is at once the riveting story of a woman unjustly accused and a love story set amid the political and social turmoil of both old and new England. Harrowing and with a deep understanding of the human heart, history is brilliantly imagined. The First Witch of Boston will be released on September 1st. From Celeste Briars comes Lovesick, a hockey romance. Dancer and self-proclaimed perfectionist Merritt Lawson has spent her whole life appeasing others, including walking away from a promising dance career. After she collapses following a heart-related incident at her old college, her helicopter parents relocate her back home to snowy Minnesota, where hockey is a religion and the players are gods. Merritt wants one last night of freedom before she's thrown into a maelstrom of inflated egos and bad decisions, even if that means becoming a hookup culture statistic. NHL-bound hockey player Crew Calloway yearns to be seen for who he is, rather than his flashy accomplishments or playboy reputation. With a deadbeat dad and a roster of manipulative exes, it's going to take a lot to crumble his defenses. However, unexpected sparks fly when he meets one fiery, pint-sized brunette at the bar who seems to be the only girl who doesn't know his name. Before long, they're back at his place executing the perfect hat trick. Sans close. But just as Crew thinks he's found his match, she disappears the next morning. When Crew gets a dinner invite from his coach, he doesn't expect his blast from a not-so-distant past to answer the door. Merritt has a personal vendetta against the hockey player's species, and Crew knows that dating the coach's daughter would end his career, but neither of them can deny the unbidden hunger they share. Now, growing closer than ever after being assigned to the same fundraiser committee, their hormones will be the least of their worries if Merritt's father finds out about their not-so-platonic relationship. Will Crew and Merritt fold under the pressures of the outside world? Or will love finally be in the cards for two romantically challenged souls? Find out in Lovesick on September 4th. The Physician of Nineveh is a time travel historical fantasy from Glenn Cooper. A love lost in time, a cure buried in history, a mystery that spans millennia. London, present day. Dr. Kate Main, a brilliant historian still recovering from her heartbreak, devotes her life to uncovering the secrets of the ancient world. She never expects one of those secrets to walk into her life, claiming to be a royal physician from the long-lost city of Nineveh. Assyria, 7th century BCE. Manu Ki Ashur, chief physician to King Ashurbanipal, faces an impossible choice. The woman he has loved since childhood is dying from a poison no medicine or forbidden magic can cure. In desperation, Manu turns to an ancient ritual that sends him hurtling through time to modern-day London. When Kate confirms Manu's identity through ancient texts only she can read, she is swept into a race against time, assassins from Nineveh, and the limits of belief. Together, Manu and Kate must find a cure and confront a destiny that spans empires. Along the way, they discover a bond that might just be stronger than time itself. The Physician of Nineveh will be released on September 3rd. Shadow's Protection is the first in the Hurricane Heat MC series by best-selling author Chelle Bliss. Shadow isn't the type to mingle with people outside his world unless they owe him or the club something. But when his eyes land on a beautiful woman in need of a place to stay, he offers her shelter from the coming storm without a second thought. Violet James needs a fresh start. She's planned every detail: new job, new house, new city. But the one thing she didn't expect was a hurricane to throw a wrench into everything. Stranded in a new city with no open hotel rooms for miles, she's intrigued when a handsome biker offers her a place to stay. Shadow never expected the woman to come with baggage in the form of an obsessive ex-boyfriend who will stop at nothing to get her back, including showing up at his club's compound. What starts off as a little fun to pass the time, as a hurricane decimates the area around them, turns into something deeper than either of them could have imagined. And Shadow will do anything to keep Violet safe, even if that means risking his life to save hers. Shadow's Protection kicks off the Hurricane Heat MC series on September 2nd. Behind a Locked Door is the latest thriller from Sarah A. Denzil. She opened the wrong door. Now her life will never be the same. When Lucy Foster visits her old friend, she doesn't expect to hear a baby crying behind a locked cellar door. But what she finds shatters everything she thought she knew. A terrified teenage girl and a newborn, hidden away like a secret shame. As Lucy's quiet life spirals into a media frenzy, and as the town turns against her, one thing becomes clear. Someone is watching, and they want Lucy to stop helping the girl in the cellar. Because the truth is darker than anyone imagines, and unlocking it may cost Lucy everything. Behind a Locked Door will be released on September 4th. Under My Skin is a brother's best friend romance by Heather Garvin. Under usual circumstances, Lucy Blake would happily fly home to visit her family. But when her brother unknowingly breaks the news of their parents' abrupt divorce, she's determined to learn why they called it quits and didn't bother telling her. After the loss of his dad, Everett Myers dedicated everything to his tattoo studio. He sacrificed his time, money, and even his relationships for the sake of keeping busy. But the stress of running the shop still isn't enough to keep his grief at bay. When his best friend's younger sister comes into town seeking a spontaneous tattoo, he knows something isn't right. It may have been a few years since he's seen her, but Lucy doesn't even like tattoos. He's emotionally unavailable. She's feeling reckless. The combination might be a bad idea, but what was once casual familiarity shifts to inescapable interest. Will the result be catastrophic, or will they find themselves leaning on one another when they least expect? Under My Skin will be released on September 5th. Shades of Yellow by multi-award-winning author Wendy J. Dunn. Who better to write about a betrayed woman than a woman betrayed? During her battle with illness, Lucy Ellis found solace in writing a novel about the mysterious death of Amy Robsart, the first wife of Robert Dudley, the man who came close to marrying Elizabeth I. As Lucy delves into Amy's story, She also navigates the aftermath of her own experience that brought her close to death and the collapse of her marriage. After taking leave from her teaching job to complete her novel, Lucy falls ill again. Fearing she will die before she finishes her book, she flees to England to solve the mystery of Amy Robsart's death. Can she find the strength to confront her past, forgive the man who broke her heart, and take control of her own destiny? Shades of Yellow will release on September 7th. From the New York Times best-selling author of The Sweetness of Water comes a gripping story about a brother and sister, emancipated from slavery but still searching for true freedom, and their odyssey across the deserts of Mexico to escape a former master still intent on their bondage. The book is Amity by Nathan Harris. New Orleans, 1866. The Civil War might be over, but formerly enslaved Coleman and June have yet to find the freedom they've been promised. 2 years ago, the siblings were separated when their old master, Mr. Harper, took June away to Mexico, where he hoped to escape the new reality of postbellum South. Coleman stayed behind in Louisiana to serve the Harper family, clinging to the hope that one day June would return. When an unexpected letter from Mr. Harper arrives, summoning Coleman to Mexico, Coleman thinks that finally his prayers have been answered. What Coleman cannot know is the tangled truth of June's tribulations under Mr. Harper out on the frontier. And when disaster strikes Coleman's journey, he is forced on the run with Mr. Harper's daughter, Florence. Together they venture into the Mexican desert to find June, all the while invading two crooked brothers who will stop at nothing to capture Coleman and Florence and collect the money they're owed. As Coleman and June separately navigate a perilous, parched landscape, the siblings learn quickly that freedom isn't always given. Sometimes it must be taken by force. Amity will be released on September 2nd. New York Times bestselling author Lauren Oliver returns with What Happened to Lucy Vale. Who in their right mind would move into the Faraday house, with its grim history and a generation spent rotting and untended? Rachel Vale and her daughter Lucy, that's who. They've arrived unexpectedly, yet with peculiar purpose, to Woodward, Indiana, to rent the most infamous house in town. Here, 16 years ago, Nina Faraday vanished without a trace, and her mother was found hanging from an apple tree in the front yard. It was the stuff of ghoulish fascination and dark imaginings. Old rumors are stirred up all over again by an online community of teenagers, now fixated on Lucy, the new girl in school. Especially when Lucy's shattering romance with the swim team star becomes another small-town obsession. This time, the kids in Woodward will be asking, what happened to Lucy Vale? Parallel mysteries soon converge about two teenage girls, nearly 2 decades apart, both consumed by the stories and suspicions of others. Only a mother can bring the truth to devastating light. What Happened to Lucy Vale will release on September 1st. Finally, we have Sisters in the Wind, the latest from Angeline Boulley. Ever since Lucy Smith's father died 5 years ago, home has been more of an idea than a place. She knows being on the run is better than anything waiting for her as a ward of the state. But when the sharp-eyed and kind Mr. Jameson, with an interest in her case, comes looking for her, Lucy wonders if hiding from her past will ever truly keep her safe. 5 years in the foster system has taught her to be cautious and smart, but she wants to believe Mr. Jameson and his friend, not friend, a tall and fierce-looking woman who say they want to look after her. They also tell Lucy the truth her father hid from her. She is Ojibwe. She has had a sister and more siblings, a grandmother who looked after her, and a home where she would be loved. But Lucy is being followed. The past has destroyed any chance of safety she ever had. Will the secret she's hiding swallow her whole and take away any hope for the future she's always dreamed of? When the past comes for revenge, it's fight or flight. Sisters in the Wind will be released on September 2nd. That's our 10 books for this week. Until next time, you can check out booknotification.com. Book Notification offers an easy way to track your reading lists, follow your favorite authors, and never miss a new release. Our website is completely free to use, and it's packed with features to make your reading life easier. You can follow your favorite authors and get notified whenever they release new books. We send out an email every Tuesday with a list of fresh releases from the authors you love, but that's not all. You can track your reading progress, mark books as read, rate and review them, and even import your data from Goodreads, Calibre, Libby, and more. Want to discover something new? Check out Reader's Roulette for book recommendations, or use our personalized book release calendar to stay up to date with the latest titles. You can even tag books with custom labels, just like on Goodreads shelves, and get tailored recommendations for what to read next based on your current book. Whether you're looking for books in publication or want to see them listed in chronological order, we've got it covered. Plus, all of our authors are audited by real people, so you know the information is accurate. So why not give it a try and join the thousands of readers already using our site to stay on top of their reading game. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back next week with another 10 books.